Welcome to Fat Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Mark Bernard.
Hey!
Ho!
How is everybody doing, man? We are here at the Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood, California, right here on Hollywood Boulevard. Put your hands together so the folks listening and watching at home know that you were real.
So much real.
Got to remember, LA real is everywhere else fake. So that's as good as it gets. How are you, good sir?
I am fucking great.
Bucket. Whoa, that's very positive.
I know. I'm over.
Did you just get blown before the show?
You would know.
That's true.
No, I'm just overcompensating for like unemployment.
Oh, you don't have a job?
I don't have a job.
Bullshit. You just turned in a script for fucking...
I did, which means I'm now out of a job.
Mark turned in his first draft of his Masters of the Universe script for episode 3. So now we have 3 scripts in so far. There's the first episode, which I wrote. Dia wrote the second episode. Mark just turned in the first draft of the third episode. Tim goes next, and then Eric brings us to 5 and stuff. So that gives Powerhouse a bunch of shit to start working with and stuff. So it's exciting. How did you like working? We gotta be real fucking careful about details and shit because we already got told like, shut the fuck up.
You're saying too many things.
Yeah, they're like, this ain't your show. And I was like, I read in the fucking Hollywood Reporter it was. You know, they're like, no. So we gotta be very careful with the details and shit. But how did you, like, I wanted to talk about the length and can't even do that and shit.
No, it was interesting. I've never written animation before. So it was an interesting sort of challenge to convey all of that shit, realizing that artists are going to be drawing it. It's actually a little bit like writing comics, because you're writing a letter to the artist who's going to draw your comic and say, here's kind of what I feel like the mood should be and the color should be and do what you're going to do, because you can draw this shit way better than I can. But in my head, it feels like this. And so I think a lot of this was also that same thing, like knowing full well that you were the first person who's going to read it. There's going to be Mattel and Netflix are going to have notes, but the people who execute it want to know kind of what you were thinking. Yeah. So I think that's a lot of what at least this draft was. Like, no, it should be like pink skies and red seas or vice versa. Just like use kind of the color scheme and make it feel autumnal. Using this comic book that I wrote a long time ago that's here on the bar, meant for me to sign, not as some prop where I'm like, well, Mark, I just happen to have one of my own comic books. It was left here for me to sign. But my point being, this is a 22-page comic book. If I remember correctly, I haven't opened it. I'll Karnak that shit. 22-page comic book. And I'll tell you right now, the script for it was not 22 pages. If you looked at the script for a movie that I'm directing, let's say Jay and Silent Bob reboot, coming to theaters next month, you would not see a lot of description. You'd see a fuck ton of dialogue, but you would see the bare minimum of descriptive passages to set the scene. Like, you know, it's just not necessary, because since I'm going to direct it, why am I going to waste script space going like, you know, Jay enters the room. Jay, 45, long hair, privileged, middle-aged white man. Like, you know, shit like that. And I'm not saying I'm shitting on that. I like when screenwriters do that in their shit, but in my shit, I ain't got time. I'd rather use that space for a few more dick jokes. So in a script for a movie is very fucking tight, no description. The script for this 22-page comic book, I guarantee you, if I remember correctly, was 60 pages. Because in order to get to 22 pages, which, you know, has, let's say, minimum 6 panels per page on each page, in order to get there, the good folks, the couple Dodson, Terry was the artist and Rachel was the inker and stuff. The Dodsons had to draw a fuck ton of shit, but since they didn't write it, since they're not me, they don't fucking know what's supposed to happen. So I couldn't just write, you know, panel 1, Spider-Man, Black Cat, and then a bunch of dialogue. You have to say, you know, panel 1, they're in a room. The room is this size. There's a credenza over there. You have to literally describe everything you want to see, because you can't then, like, when they show you some art, you're like, what the fuck? Where's the credenza? And they're like, credenza? Like, who even uses that anymore? You know, so it's same thing with animation. You really have to over-describe shit, you know, in just knowing that it's going to leave your hands and go into the hands of people that
you're not going to be standing next to be like, oh, when I wrote that 6 months ago, I meant this. You know, they're going to do with it what they will and stuff. So you got to be very detail oriented, and which is a real bitch because again, I can't talk about specifics, but for me, I'd rather put as little description in as possible so I can keep as much dialogue as possible. And, you know, this is a show that's going to have a lot of fucking fighty in it as well. So you got to leave space for that. But at the same time, it is a show about relationships. And so there's a fuck ton of, you know, dialogue and whatnot. You got to find a balance. And for the length that, fuck, I'm going to get in trouble. It's just tough, like, because you want to describe everything, but at the same time, you're like, fuck, that took up a quarter of a page, and that means I got to lose some dialogue in the story, but I don't want to lose dialogue because the page count is very fucking tight. Can't go over it. It can't be like sloppy and come see, come saw. Has to be very tight because the animators are like, if we're going to hit the fucking schedules, this is how it works. Like, welcome to our world and shit. Like, you writers are wonderful. Thank you for your words, but the real work begins now, you know? And then they go to work.
I know, and I really like writing action scenes. Like, I have the most fun doing that.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
man.
the shit I can't stand the most, man. I mean, I talked about it when we did the panel. Like, the Powerhouse folks, like Brad and co, the guys who are animating it, they did Castlevania. They were like, look, don't go crazy describing your fights, man. Like, you know, unless there's action very specific to your plot, like he punches him in the eye and it's the eye that he put in there before and it pops and fucking, you know, the world explodes. He goes, unless, and that's not in the script. It'll be better than that. If you don't need action specific beats, they said, just write fighty, and we'll take care of the rest. So they're like, just have him speak and do all the dialogue you need to, and then tell us who it is, which, you know, people are pairing off, who's in the scene, but then write fighty, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to fucking bring it to vibrant life and shit. And that made me feel good because I'm like, I fucking hate writing action. I'm lazy by nature. You just made an easy job even easier. Thank you so much.
And it broke my fucking heart. Because
Really?
I love that shit. I love like the Rube Goldberg nature of like just building a fight scene that makes sense, because fight scenes, when they're shitty, they're just people punching each other in the face. And that's still kind of fun. But when they're great, it's part of the narrative, right? Like you think about a Jackie Chan fight scene. Like there's full story freight that's being delivered to the audience in those fight scenes. I mean, fucking Rocky is nothing but, like if you tell me that I'm gonna do the last fight in Creed and I just get to write fighty, and I don't get to write, like, oh, no. He punches, he falls down, he's lying on the ground, he's mad, his back is spasming, he doesn't know what to do, and then pop, he gets one flash of Apollo Creed, and then he jumps to his feet as if pulled by a fucking anchor, and then you get the fucking music. Then the music kicks in, the Bill Conti theme, and then you ba-ba-da-na, ba-da-na, ba-ba. Like, if I just gotta write
Are you fucking pitching it to me?
But, like, that's the shit that makes me have so much fun, and I just fighty, have fun.
See, that's what makes the greats great. Like Ryan Coogler, probably him and his friend wrote that script, and they were fucking lifelong fans. They were always like, "What if Apollo fucking won?" And so that's what Creed is and stuff. They probably did break it down like fucking poetically, beat for beat, so that you could almost see it as you're reading the script. Whereas if I was doing Creed, it literally would have been 12 pages long. Because there would have been a lot of like, oh yeah, you better believe fighty. You know? And just give it to somebody
Rounds 1 through 9,
than
fighty.
What have I been doing? I watched a thing right before I came here.
What was the thing that you watched?
The X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix.
You did that on purpose and everything? Like I told you about
Treated
it.
like a car accident, man, where I was like, oh shit, Dark Phoenix. No, it was total choice. It was available on fucking Apple and iTunes, and I had 2 hours for the show, and I was like, this is relevant to my interests. And so I clicked on it and watched it. And it was under 2 hours, so I was able to get it all in. Number one, like I found it totally watchable. I was at home. I didn't pause to fuck off or anything like that. And I was eating hummus while it was going on, and I love me some fucking hummus. So that probably made it better. If I could have seen it in a movie theater eating hummus, I too would have been apart from the crowd. Like, I don't know what you fuckers are talking about.
Did you not get the hummus? You should get the hummus.
Yeah, get the hummus. You'll love this shit a lot more. I thought it was totally watchable. And you know, for the first like half, I was like, fucking, right on, they're doing it. What is everyone talking about? I didn't think it was that bad. And then the third act kicks in, and you're like, I see. But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like the third act was. Honestly, I liked it a lot more than fucking the previous X-Men movie. Apocalypse, or whatever it was called.
That ain't that.
Age of Apocalypse. Jesus, that one was tough, man. But this one wasn't nearly as tough. And I watched the other one at home too, so it should have gone down smoother and whatnot. But this one did totally fucking like. I sat there watching, fairly enjoying. Felt a bit sentimental because I'm like, oh shit, man, I've been watching X-Men movies for a while, and then fucking did the mental math where I'm like, there ain't a single fucker in this movie who was in the first X-Men movie, is there?
No.
Isn't that fucking weird? Like they just suddenly and slowly rebuilt the entire fucking vehicle, like from the bumper to bumper with all new parts, and we still accepted it as the X-Men. There's not a single person who was in the first X-Men movie. Isn't that fucking nuts?
I mean, it's nuts, except like we hadn't seen Sean Connery in public since forever. Like they've been rebuilding bonds as you go.
Yeah. That doesn't seem as nutty to me, man.
Maybe
like, I haven't watched a Bond movie in a while, so maybe it hasn't occurred to me as nutty. I don't know.
Where's that Sean Connery fella?
But they told us with Bond, right? They announced, like, here's the new Bond, because it's a guy, one guy. And when they switch him out, you're like, I kind of noticed something happened there. But with the X-Men, man, there's so fucking many of them, they did it, like, over time. They were like, just trade those two for young people. Now swap in another two. Now two. And so, like, as I'm sitting there watching the movie trying to get sentimental, I couldn't get sentimental because I'm like, who are these fucking people? Like, I don't know any of these fucking people. But I've been with them for the last few movies and shit. It was kind of a slow shift. I think everyone involved is talented, so I'm not like taking anything away. But I think Jessica Chastain was not served at all.
No.
And if I don't know if it was a choice or somebody directed her to be like, just play it like you don't want to be in this movie. Because the whole fucking time she's just like, come with me, Gene. Like, she just looks sad to be there and shit. Good, great actress, but it's really, they didn't serve her very well. And I know there's a bunch of reshooting and stuff like that. I tried to think, like, what did I really fucking, like, think was like, holy shit, that's a vast improvement. And, because they're making enough of them, they should get a little better each time, presumably, right?
You'd hope.
Yeah, it says the guy who just fucking made Jay and Silent Bob reboot, he hopes as well. But the BAMF, the Nightcrawler in and out, was really fucking beautifully done. Like, they got that shit down to a science just in time for the whole fucking franchise to end and shit. But it looks really fucking graphically cool.
But is it done better or to better effect than it was in X-Men 2? Because the opening of X-Men 2
is fantastic.
Yeah, like it's also often less the quality of the effect and more the use of the effect you're using. And so, which is why you look at Jurassic Park and you're like, oh no, they had 100 CG shots in that movie, and it's fucking puppets and armatures and just like trickery in the camera, and it looks as good, if not better, than most movies do today because they pick those shots. Here's where we're going to spend this money. Here's where we're going to innovate. Here's how we're going to give you a fucking field of gallimimuses or whatever the fuck those were. And like the opening 10 minutes of X-Men 2 is probably the best 10 minutes of an X-Men movie you're ever going to get. And it's 15 years old at this point. And it's it's smart. It's hard to innovate on smarts when all you're doing is trying to bamf shit.
And think about that, like what an electrifying sequence that was, particularly if you were a comic book fan, because you were like, holy shit. My whole life I've been reading these books. I watched the fucking cartoons and shit, and they literally made it happen. Like fucking Nightcrawler bamfed and then bamfed out and shit. Oh, it's so dope in the attack sequence. But I loved his Nightcrawler. The new kid is fine. He's good. But Alan Cumming was adorable when he was just like, I was, what was it? He was like, I was the number one actor in the Munich circus. He was like so fucking happy to be there.
Every time he called somebody Liebchen.
Man, yeah. So it was weird to watch the X-Men franchise just kind of come to an end. Like, when they started making that movie, there was no whiff of the Disney deal.
Oh no!
So
They're
they
like,
didn't
"We're
think
gonna
they
do
were
these-
making the last X-Men movie.
No, this is going to crest us into a whole new generation of X-Men.
Yeah.
Didn't.
No, that was kind of it, man.
Yeah. I watched the movie.
Hold on. What was the last thing I wanted to point out?
You went-
I saw, like, they had done Dark Phoenix and X-Men 3,
Mm-hmm.
the one Brett Ratner did, and everyone shit on it and whatnot. But to be honest, I like their Act 3 better than this Act 3. Ironically, both were written by Simon Kinberg.
Yes.
But this one I had no emotional connection to. It was just a giant CG, like, fucking...
Yeah. You mean where they
like,
fight?
what's her name? Sansa Stark. They paid her a lot of money. The Sansa Stark Jonas, I'm sorry. They paid her a lot of money to stand in front of a green screen for a long time and do shit like this. And she was like, "Are you sure that's it?" They're like, "We got the rest, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. We got it. Go. We'll crack your skin light, but it's gonna be awesome." So that was fine, kind of standard. But the third act and I'm not fucking just trying to reconvince anybody on Brett Ratner, but the third act of X-Men 3 is fucking Wolverine trying to get to Jean, who's so fucking powerfully destructive. She's destroying everything around her, and his flesh is getting fucking ripped off of his face as fucking Hugh Jackman like tries to robot in on her through the fucking force field, and he's getting flayed down to fucking bone and then regenerating. Like, it is. And as if that's not fucking metal enough, he finally reaches her and he's like, "Snicked!" And you're like, "What the fuck?" Like, it was better than the one they did in the comics, I'll be honest with you. The death of Jean Grey in the comics was not nearly as fucking cool as that. So this one I felt was just kind of like, no. But that one I was like, holy shit. And he was all crying and shit like that.
I mean, if your hero has to kill the woman he loves to save the world, that is way better than, took us a while to cross this street here in Manhattan. And
that's the lesson you got out of it. The lesson I got is don't ever make an X-Men movie without Hugh fucking Jackman, man. Like, because I was sitting there watching this movie going, something's fucking missing, man. Something's wrong. And they replaced everybody. They left the engine out on fucking lawn, man. It's just a car without the fucking heart and shit. So it's worth a watch. If you haven't seen it, I thought it was worth a watch. But just know that, like, this is what I would suggest. Because, again, written by Simon Kinberg, both movies. And he directed this one, though. So watch the first two acts of Dark Phoenix and then switch over to X-Men 3's third act. And I think you'll be very happy. I think you'll be like,
nice.
That was an awesome X-Men
just going to
movie.
machete cut these two things together.
I think. But I thought it was, I was waiting, everyone, I think you shat on it too. And I think everybody was like, lowered my expectations. But because they were in the toilet, I guess, I was like, hey, this ain't fucking bad.
We all did it for you, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So one of us could enjoy it.
I'll tell you this much, man. If I was doing like one of those videos and shit, like Honest Trailers or fucking Cinema Sins, holy fuck. If everyone in that movie, or even just Sansa Stark Jonas, got paid by the Jean, people be fucking rich, man. They said that name so fucking much, dude. Jean, the whole fucking movie. By the end, when the credits rolled, man, I turned to my wife. I was like, what was that character's name?
Holy shit. The dancing machine.
They didn't, and then also it reminded me that she doesn't really have a secret identity. In the comics, it was Marvel Girl.
Right.
But they never did that in the X-Men movies.
No, just Jean.
It's so weird. Everyone's got a code name. The fucking Nightcrawler, fucking Cyclops, Jean Grey. Weird. In any event, totally watch. What did you watch that you...
I went to go see the 20th anniversary re-release of The Matrix. And I was gobsmacked. I mean, it's gorgeous. Like, the restoration is amazing. The sound work, the sound sort of refurbishment for...
Wait,
whatever.
what year? 25?
20.
20th.
99.
Same year as Dogma.
Yeah. It was a big year. Same year as Sixth Sense.
Yo, and something else just hit, too. Shawshank.
American Beauty. It was a big fucking summer.
Wow. No, Shawshank was 25 years, because they were 1994, yeah.
Right. But I found myself wondering what it felt like, and I couldn't quite put a finger on it, but what it felt like to watch The Matrix for the first time. Because that movie is fucked up. Like a really good fucked up, like a really like I'm not sure what I'm watching at any given moment fucked up, and then it starts like peeling back layers, and the shit beneath it is just as fucked up, and then there's more layers. Like, and I remember the all of the marketing language was basically nobody can tell you what the Matrix is. You just have to see it for yourself, and somehow that got us to go see the fucking Matrix, and it is so heady in a way that I haven't honestly seen since. Maybe Inception is playing with a similar, you don't know what's happening, you just know that it looks kind of cool, and they keep talking about things that feel cool, even if you don't know why. And I was blown away by the fact that Warner Brothers made that movie. It's a giant fucking studio movie. They handed it to two filmmakers who had previously, they wrote The Matrix, sold it to Warner Brothers, wanted to direct, and they said no, because you've never made anything.
The only thing they was Bound.
Warner Brothers basically made them make Bound first. Like, Bound was their tryout for The Matrix.
Right.
It's like, make us this like $6 million, like, lesbian noir, go to town.
You would never see two more different movies either. Like, you don't watch fucking Bound and go like, I could see The Matrix coming.
Although, like, if you watch The Matrix and then you go see Bound, you're like, oh no,
yeah,
there's some of this in here.
You see some DNA.
There's some DNA. But, like, to hand those two cats that movie and, like, oh yeah, we're going to invent special effects that don't exist, and it's also going to be about, like, the nature of reality and simulacra, and, like, we're going to name the ship the Nebuchadnezzar, which is a deep fucking Bible cut that nobody's going to quite catch, but sure, we're going to do all that. We want to get Will Smith to star in it. Is that cool? Yeah, but Will won't work for us after Wild Wild West. So who else you want? I don't know. How about Keanu? Sure, I guess. We wanted this to be a super black movie, so I guess we got to take one white guy. Which is fundamental, because if you see like the other Matrix movies, they are super fucking black. Like, it's as if, it's a lot like Fast and the Furious that way, where they were like saddled with the one white guy they started with, and then just eventually just replaced everybody else until they're like various shades of brown. So by the time you get to like Crazy Dance Rave in Zion, like, oh, this is just Soul Train. Like a white dude and his white girl, like up in the alcove, kind of fucking maybe, but then there's Morpheus, everybody dance. And then it's just like, and there's rain everywhere, and motherfuckers in see-through dresses.
I mean, fuck, like, what was it like to see The Matrix for the first time? I remember seeing Matrix 2 for the first time, and that shit began, and I was like, huh. Is this somebody else's movie? What happened to the good one? And the dance sequence was just fucking long and weird, and I'm like, wow, this is what they were fighting for? I wish they hadn't gone back to Zion, man. Liked it better than the fucking Matrix.
Yeah, but it's an incredibly smart movie that rewrites its rules as it goes and doesn't actually wait for you to catch up to what those rules are going to be.
Yeah.
And the fact that we all kind of got on board and we now look at it as if it's, oh, it just exists because it always existed. It's a fucking Matrix. Why wouldn't you? It's a remarkable piece of work that I don't think I'd ever quite given it credit for.
Wow.
Because it's just so fucking deep in a milieu, also a deep word, that never rewards depth. You know, like, what's going to happen? Bunch of motherfuckers shooting each other. What are they doing? Wearing black leather. That seems cool, right? Yeah, I just saw that Equilibrium movie that fucking Christian Bale and Taye Diggs was in. It's not as deep. Let's just do, oh, this is super fucking deep. Yeah, it is.
I remember seeing the trailer for The Matrix and being like, this looks like that Dark City movie. Remember? Because that had happened right beforehand and stuff. I was like, these movies look awfully fucking similar and shit. So I went in with real low expectations. Early in my relationship with my wife, let me see. That came out in May?
Yes.
I think, if I remember correctly. So she'd be, no? Late in the year?
August, I think.
So at that
summer.
point, we got a 2-month-old kid. And we brought Harley to see The Matrix in a bassinet. And I remember somebody complimented us on the way out going, there was a lot of gunfire. That's a good baby. Thank you.
She's an American.
Yeah, man. When was it? March.
Fine, whatever. Thanks, Nate.
Also means my story like didn't happen. Because the kid was born in fucking June. What the fuck, man? It was Fight Club that I took her to see.
He just fact-checked us both out of our stories.
I know, really, fuck.
Thanks, Nate. But yeah, I think it's playing until this Friday when it gets blown up by something else. So if you can, go see it because it's worth seeing on the big screen again, just for how fucked up and wonderful it is.
I got one last opening thing, and then you got a bunch of news, I assume?
I do, yes. There was things happen this week.
I didn't know if I was allowed to talk about this, but I've now seen it all over fucking the news cycle, so I guess it's okay. I went to a wedding this weekend.
A wedding?
Yes, and it's very on brand for this show here, and particularly very on brand for me. I saw two superheroes get married, man.
Aww.
Melissa Benoist and Chris Wood got married. Melissa plays Supergirl. Chris played Mon-El on Supergirl a couple seasons back. They've been together for since then for about 2-3 years or whatever. And they just got married in what is honestly the best wedding I've ever been to in my life. It changed the game for me. Where I was just like...
For your next wedding?
Yes. I turned to my wife. I was like, I'm going to do it better next time.
You just wait.
It was so beautiful. I don't think I can ever go to a wedding again and enjoy it nearly as much unless two actors are getting married. Because it was so emotive, man. Everyone just wore their hearts on their fucking sleeve. You go to weddings, people are very kind of circumspect and read their vows if they read them at all, or just repeat what this guy says and shit like that. But it's very, most people aren't used to being in front of people and shit, and it's the biggest day of your life, but still you're nervous, and there's a fucking aunt that you hate and blah, blah, blah and shit. These two, man, they're artists, so the fucking world melts away, and it's just them. And the two of them wrote their own vows, and they were fucking breathtakingly beautiful. I'm not just saying that as a guy who, their friend, and I like them and shit. I know Chris is a really fucking good writer. He just sold the script to Plan B to fucking that company and shit. But he's just clever and smart in real life and shit. He's beautiful. I hate him. And I always told him, I was like, fuck, dude, it ain't fair. You're so good looking and you're fucking talented. God damn it. She is about the sweetest human being on the planet. Just the absolute light of the world. And so two kids came together on that show, and that they found each other in the weird, wild world, nigh impossible, because you don't say this about many people. It's the old chestnut. They're made for each other, but that's really not true. It feels like these two were fucking literally made for each other, man. And they rock these fucking vows that me as a writer, I was like, fuck, that's good. And I knew he was gonna be fucking real good because I've read his writing. I've read a couple of his scripts. Melissa, I've never read anything that Melissa wrote and stuff. So I was like, she went first, and I was like, this poor son of a bitch, man. Because I knew Woods would be stunning. But Melissa wrote some of those beautiful shit I ever heard in my life. I started crying while she was doing her vows. And she's crying, and he's crying. Fucking, I look around, everybody's fucking crying, man. The vows are a good long, 4 minutes, and she's just reading them, this thing that she wrote, and she opens with I'm not good with words, and then proceeds to write one of the most eloquent, beautiful things I ever heard in my life. She wraps it up, and it ends, and fucking the wedding was outside. Everyone is silent, it's just quiet and shit, because we all just experienced something fucking real. And then some fucking asshole in the audience goes, "Oh, come on!" and starts fucking clapping. I was that asshole. Because I couldn't fucking believe what we had just heard. And I was like, "Oh, come on." Everybody fucking applauded, started laughing and shit. And I was like, "Top that shit, Wood!" Thank God we weren't in a church. And then he went, and he was just as fucking eloquent and beautiful, man. It was so moving. It was the kind of thing that made you fall in love a little bit more with your wife. And I love my wife very much. I don't need any help there. But fucking seeing that, I was like, Not her chest, but fucking like I was
I mean,
I was like grabbing her titty, like, right, this is hot. They love each other so much. No.
you're not in a church, it's fine.
I was, yeah, thank God we were outside. I kept grabbing her fucking arm. And my wife, who I dearly love, don't get me wrong, but, you know, who's been with me, we've been together 21 years, we've been married 20 years, mother of my child and stuff, everything, the reason for my being. That being said, is one of the coldest fucking human beings I've ever met in my life. She ain't like me. Like, I cry during episodes of The Flash, and she looks at me and goes, ugh, and walks out and shit. She's a very strong individual and shit, and she doesn't understand how, like, I go to pieces so easy. I'm like, I'm a middle-aged stoner, fuck you. Everything's so beautiful. And she was fucking bawling. Like, not just like rolling a tear. My wife was crying so hard, she grabbed my tie and fucking wiped her eyes and shit like that. Fucking Nate goes, that's all you got of the story? Is like, you wore a tie? I did. Not only did I wear a tie, I wore a fucking pants. I went out and bought clothes for this shit.
Damn.
By myself. I wasn't even brought by somebody who was like, this is what you have to do. I was like, I should get, like, you know, I knew I was going to wear a suit jacket and shit, and I knew in terms of pants, I couldn't go much further than jeans, but I knew I could wear, you know, dressy jeans and shit like that. And that's pants, more or less, and stuff. So I knew I had that covered. But all I got are fucking T-shirts and shit. So I was like, oh, shit, I need a, you know.
Shirt.
Yeah, the non-T version of a T-shirt.
I don't know, in your language, how you say it.
Como se dice buttons?
Do you have the little boom?
A dress shirt.
I got a boom.
I had to get a dress shirt and some ties because I didn't have any of that shit too. So I went to Macy's and fucking shopped like a big boy and bought a white button-down shirt and a fucking black button-down shirt.
Fuck yeah.
In case I wanted to wear it under the purple and shit. I was like, you know, suddenly I'm like, who are you, Kevin Smith? Like, it's fucking, where are the hockey jerseys? But I went home with my shit, you know, and I thought my wife would be like, oh, I'm so proud of you. But instead I became this fucking individual, just focus of mockery and shit. Because I came in with a bag. She was like, what's that? And I was like, oh, I got clothes for the wedding. And she was like, let me see. You know, like I was 9, you know. And she's like, she fucking makes a big show. She's like, ooh, what do we have here? Pastel tie? Who are you, Kevin Smith? Yeah. And I
Are
was
you
like,
a spy?
I bought 2 other ties, and she's like, ooh, one is black with white dots, and the other is black. She's like, so many options. And then she pulled out the 2 shirts, and she's like, white or black, you're the Oreo of fashion. And she was like making fun of me, and I was like, you know, fucking, if I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. Just be glad I'm not wearing a fucking Jane Silent Bob shirt and shit like that. So we went, and like I looked good. I still wore a baseball cap and shit, but like I looked cleaned up, I was wearing a nice Hugo Boss jacket. And even my wife was like, you look fucking good. But Melissa, God bless her, in the middle of her fucking nuptials and her big day, who was just radiant and fucking beautiful and everything and stuff. Like at one point, like after the ceremony, when, you know, what's the thing afterwards? Like
Reception.
Reception. You're fucking sitting around chit-chatting, taking pictures and whatnot. Like she came over, gave me a hug, and she gave Jen a hug and stuff, and then she moved on. And Jennifer was laughing. I was like, what are you laughing about? She's like, Melissa leaned in and was like, Kevin wore pants. All the CW family was there and shit like that. All the people from Supergirl. David Harewood, who plays Martian Manhunter, officiated the ceremony.
Very nice.
So it was very, very cool. Yes. I mean, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. But I'm just saying shit that I saw in a tweet. So I'm like, ooh, I should be safe at this point. But it was really cool. I have no proof the event happened because very wisely, when we got there, instantly they were like, surrender your phones, please. So all our phones went into a safekeeping place. And, you know, we all fucking, for the first few minutes, stumbled around like fucking fish on the land going, what the fuck? But then we remembered, like, how to breathe and shit like that. And it was really quite nice. Like, I gotta say, I enjoyed the wedding 100% more than I would have, because if I had a phone, I would have been like, I gotta capture this, and you're trying to look for a shot, and suddenly it's about you and what you're capturing, and you're not even in the moment anymore. So even if you do this while you're watching, it's still life through the Black Mirror, so to speak, and stuff on Netflix. So I was just like stunned by like, oh my God, like never mind the whole like, checking, fucking texts and social media and shit like that. Like we were all there, we were all present. And also because there were no phones and shit, they could be themselves.
Like it worked blue?
They were really smart to do it, man. Like we all got to kind of be there and focused and shit like that. Nobody was like. Then afterwards, during the reception, we all sat at one long table, and nobody was checking their phones because nobody had their fucking phones. Like it was really, really, really cool, man. But beautiful. I love those two kids dearly, man. I'm not really like into people and shit like that. I believe in people. I'm pretty
can tell.
positive, but I don't. Like at one point, Chris was introducing me to somebody, his sister, last night, or whenever it was, a Sunday night, and he goes, "This is Kevin." He goes, "He's our biggest fan," and I was like, "I am." Like I love that these two kids like got together. I saw it early on, like in the first episode of Supergirl I was directing. I was like, these cats got real like chemistry and shit. So they got married, and fucking we all wish them congratulations, man. Give it up for Melissa and Chris. They got married. All right. That there is our intro stuff. Now we get to the nitty gritty of this here show. Mr. Mark Bernard used to be a news hound for a living shit before he took over writing about people on Eternia. He used to do that kind of thing, man. On a typewriter, he wrote news when he was a kid. Then he grew up and he edited news at some of the most trusted news agencies in the world. The Hollywood Reporter, the LA Times, Playboy. And then one day he stopped doing the news, but it's still in his blood. So he's the guy that we send looking for the news, and I bet you got a fuck ton of news this week. Bet you a lot of it has to do with the fucking Joker. We're about to find out because Mr. Mark Bernardin collected the news. Give it up for Mark. He's got news.
I want like the Mike Post theme song to go underneath that because that sounds like the intro to the A-Team. It's like, he has for his entire life been driven by the news, and now he's brought the news to you. If you can find him, perhaps you can hire the B-Team. Like, that was awesome. Thank you.
No worries, man.
All right.
I pity the fool who stopped to tell that joke. Give us the fucking news, Mark.
There's a Joker movie.
Fuck, yes there is, man. Look, I don't want to be this guy, but I'm just going to take this moment to be like, I fucking said from the beginning. Everyone was like, oh my God, this is a bad idea. We don't need a Joker movie. Fuck this. I was like, I don't know. This could be a really fucking cool thing. And based on the fucking press that come out of the Venice Film Festival where Joker had its world premiere, it got an 8-minute standing ovation and shit. Apparently the movie is fucking good. I read a few reviews, which I kind of regret because they told me some shit I didn't necessarily want to know, but I'm a stoner, so I'm sure I'll forget by the time I see it. But all the reviews I read, man, were like fucking insanely positive. Not just like, this is a pretty good comic book movie. Like, excuse me. The term revolutionary was thrown around.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to have hit the world in a big bad way, and everybody who has seen it seems to be responding to it.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. All I saw was that most recent trailer, which looks great.
Fantastic trailer. We saw one trailer, the first one, or a teaser, I don't know what they're calling it, with his mom in it. Mm-hmm. This one, not a lot of mom, but more the rest of the story.
Right.
And it seems prescient. It looks like it was set in the late 70s, early 80s, but it seems like it could be set kind of right now, man.
Yeah. I mean, I will reserve judgment until I see the movie, and I'm trying like fucking hell to get to see this movie. Mm-hmm. I will say this. I remember loving Fight Club the first time I saw it.
Okay.
Do you need some lemons?
A water. You got another water, JC? Go ahead.
And I thought it was great the first time I saw it. In 1996, I think it first came out.
Okay.
And I saw it again.
What, Fight Club?
Yeah.
99.
There it is. Another one. 99.
Yeah.
I saw it again last year. And it shocked me how much today it plays like a how-to to build a domestic terrorist. Like, it is nothing but find these social misfits, these guys who don't fit in, give them something to believe in, give them something to root against, give them a cause, and unleash them on the world to just wreak havoc. Like, that's what that movie is. And the Joker might be the greatest comic book cinematic achievement we've ever seen, but it also could be incredibly misguided for the time that we're living in.
Really?
It could be. Like, if apparently, from what I can tell, this Joker is a guy who's got some mental health issues, who gets beat up a bunch of times, and then decides to kill people.
Sounds like a Taxi Driver.
Right. Which, again, if you watch today, it's like, oh, lots of people get beat up all the time. Like, I got beat up riding the subway in New York. I did not turn into a raving maniac. And that's what it takes. That's all it takes to make the Joker the Joker. And this idea that because society has not valued you, we are going to celebrate your lack of value by somehow championing the fact that you're a maniac. Like, the Joker's the hero of this movie. Even as a tragedy, he's the hero of this movie. The movie's about him. It is sympathetic to him. And there may be something slippery about putting that kind of figure at the center of this kind of movie at this time. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I can't say for sure. But it looks amazing. But, that's all I got. Because I have no data. All I have is,
I don't know. Like, that just, it hits me in a place that when, after the last shooting, somebody was like, these fucking video games. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. Like, there ain't a video game in the world that's gonna fucking make somebody do something like that. And I can't imagine, and I feel the same way about movies. They always try to throw movies under the bus. Speaking of The Matrix before, Matrix happened right around the same time as Columbine, if I remember correctly.
Just before, yeah.
Just before and stuff, dudes in trench coats and whatnot. So, lots of guns. So, I just don't, I never seen a correlation my entire life between movie violence and fucking real life violence.
No,
and
I don't.
So I can't imagine it's going to start with this, particularly when, and I ain't taking anything away from this movie at all, but it seems to owe a lot to Taxi Driver. And if Taxi Driver didn't create a nation of taxi drivers, it created a nation of Uber drivers. No, if it didn't create a nation of taxi drivers, I don't think the Joker's going to create a nation of jokers.
No, I don't think it's the kind of thing where, like...
Are you worried that it's giving the, what do they call it, the incel movement a hero?
A little bit in that, like, movies do not incite people to do real world actions, but they do create within people a sense of camaraderie, a sense of familiarity, a sense of, I feel seen in a way that I have not felt seen before. I mean, and sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's Black Panther. Sometimes it's, oh shit, I am now centered in this movie in a way I've never been centered before. I am a little afraid that this movie may center people who are centered all the time, and in such a way that rewards them for being this kind of person. I don't have any data. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say for sure.
It sounds a little alarmist. I feel like they're presenting him, he's a bad guy. The whole fucking world knows the Joker's a bad guy. So even if he's presented somewhat as the anti-hero, it's still like you're seeing year one of the guy who goes on to, fucking mass murder so many people. I don't think anybody's going to be like, I am the Joker. Doesn't feel like that. Although there's a lot of moments in the trailer of like, we are all clowns and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I may very well be alarmist. I would not have...
I'm not calling you alarmist, but I said that sounds a little alarmist.
Well, that's fair. But had this been 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Don't think I'd have given a shit.
But now?
Like right now, in this moment, in this place, at this time, like, it is a hair concerning for a black dude in America. I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
But it could also be fantastic. I have no problem with art that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I have no problem with art that pushes you in ways that you're not expecting to be pushed. I have no problem with provocative cinema. I'm just saying it could do a thing that I don't necessarily want it to do. Which is make people feel good who I don't want to feel good.
Again, like if you can point to a precedent in cinema where that ever happened before, I might be able to like see what you're talking about, but
Triumph of the Will.
Come on. That doesn't count. That guy forced that movie to be made. And yeah, one didn't incite the other. He incited all of it.
No.
What? Jaws? Nate, the great Nate Gonzalez, Dark Knight Returns, is saying more sharks died after Jaws came out in 1975. That is absolutely fucking true. I But they didn't die because people were like, kill those fuckers.
Yeah.
What is it? I know Benchley regretted writing. Spielberg has also been like, oh man, something like, if I go to, like, when I die, God better not be a shark or some shit like that. But I will say, after the
But
people don't kill sharks just to be, I mean, I'm sure they're sport fishermen, but people don't like, that fucking movie made me kill you, fuck you. Like, there are a bunch of people that kill sharks for fucking shark fin soup and stuff, and less about Jaws. But you're right. Technically, those numbers did go up after Jaws. And it created a fucking definite bias in me, like, in as much as I do view sharks through a very dark prism. And anytime everyone's like, no, the shark is a beautiful natural bird, I'm like, fuck you. He tried to kill the whole Brody family, man. It was personal. No.
I mean, I will say that after the $6 Million Man fought Bigfoot, we haven't seen a Bigfoot around.
Good point. Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's talk about something fun, goddammit. About that trailer. In the trailer, you watched the new trailer.
Yes.
We see clowns running amok.
Mm-hmm.
And spoilers if you haven't seen the trailer, and this is all just speculation shit. Looked like Thomas Wayne and his wife and his kid rushing out of a theater.
Ooh.
In the midst of that melee. So I saw that and I was like, oh shit, we're going to get a spin on the Batman origin. But then I read a review in Variety and they said that the Wayne parents scene hones close to Nolan's version. So I was like, all right, so maybe it's not that. I like any movie that makes me watch the trailer and try to build the rest of the movie in my mind. Some trailers just watch and you're like, oh, that's good, and you move on and shit. But that one has me going, ooh, maybe this is this and this is this. And another example is him going out at the end of the trailer. He's like, can you introduce me as Joker?
Yeah.
And clearly he's going to make his appearance on that talk show that Robert De Niro's character is hosting. I cannot, and again, I don't know jack or shit, but when I saw that moment, and that's the end of the trailer, all I could think about was The Dark Knight Returns, where Joker does the David Letterman show, or Letter whatever, their version of David Letterman, and he's like, I've killed thousands of people, Dave. I'm gonna kill everyone in the studio tonight, and everyone's like laughing, ha ha ha, and then he fucking gasses and kills everybody in the fucking studio. So I would lay dollars to fucking donuts that he kills everybody in that fucking studio once he goes on the other side of that curtain. And I am so fucking in for that movie. I know you got concerns, but holy fucking shit, man.
But it also feels like a love letter to Scorsese. Like, it is nothing but king of comedy. It's nothing but fucking Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
To the point where you get fucking De Niro. Like, son of it. Like, yeah.
I'm happy for Todd Phillips. Now we're finding out more about how the movie got made. And it took him a year to convince Warner Brothers to do it. And, I guess one of the concerns was like, you're not a comic book guy. And that always tends to work out, in cinema. You don't need a comic book person to make a comic book movie, man. You need a storyteller to tell a story. And they found a new way to tell a story that, well, we know part of and we don't know a lot of. And a lot of people objected to the idea of even knowing what that story is, but now seeing what they're presenting us, like, I'm on fucking board, man. I'm happy for Todd. I'm happy for fucking Joaquin. Jesus Christ. If that dude don't win an Oscar, fucking...
Oh,
he'll win.
He will.
Right?
He will, because it's not only does he seem to be doing a fantastic job, but it does that thing where it's now like the most acting in addition to the best acting.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I lost 52 pounds to do this, and I had to like figure out how to do this laugh, and it almost broke me, and I couldn't escape the character. Like, all of the things that like the Academy, ding, 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 you win an Oscar, you win an Oscar. Like, it is catnip.
He's going to win.
He's going to fucking win.
That's huge, particularly for comic book movies in general, and it also probably game-changing in as much as now, people are going to be like, oh shit, you could do this?
Yeah.
It feels like what feels weird though is it feels like, and this is not me criticizing, but it feels like if you look at the Nolan stuff and then you look at the trailer for this, you're like, oh, these things, it felt like we were on our way to that, but then all of a sudden they were like, wait, we got to build a universe, man, and then they tried that, and then they were like, oh fuck, we ruined it, and so then they were like, get the guy from the Hangover movies, let him do what he wanted to do. That sounds cool, and it looks like it's going to work out. So I think you're going to get a lot of standalone movies that have no interconnectivity, but just are made by interesting filmmakers, great filmmakers and stuff, and pulling in great fucking talent.
If the DC cinematic universe is now nothing but Elseworlds, I'm fucking here for that. Like if it's just like alternate takes on shit that you kind of know coming from people you wouldn't expect to get them from, fuck yeah. Just make it interesting. Make it fucking weird. Make a kids movie. Make a serial killer movie. Make an Aquaman movie. Make it whatever the fuck you want. But just like live and die by the, I'm going to trust this filmmaker to tell this story. I don't need a universe. We can't win in that game anymore. It's over. But we can win with really smart fucking shots.
Looks like they're gonna, man. And that movie was not expensive. I remember when they announced it, they were like, oh, it's like a $50 million movie. So they're gonna tag the fuck up. They're gonna make so much fucking money. Like if your cost is that, the studio would be delighted because like, holy shit, we got a comic book movie that we know is gonna make money. It's probably gonna get fucking awards. And it didn't cost us that much to make, so we can fucking overspend on marketing, man, because normally it takes this much to get there. So they'll spend at least 50, if not 100, fucking opening that worldwide, and it'll just rake in the fucking dough plus the awards. I can't wait, man. It was great news to see all that and shit. Yeah. Happy for all those cats. So weird, though, because instantly when I saw the trailer and read the reviews, I was like, I wonder what the sequel will be about. I haven't even seen the fucking movie, and I'm like, I wonder what's next.
Yeah, and I think Joaquin said, like, I am in no rush to do this again. And I don't know if Todd Phillips has an idea for what to do next.
How amazing is that one fucking scene, the one moment, not scene, but in the trailer where he's walking out and he does that fucking, like, Joker laugh, but then just turns it off. In the review I read, spoilers if you don't want to know this shit, cover yours. It's not that spoilery, but the laugh is a Tourette's kind of thing for him that he just does. He has a bunch of laughs that he just nervously does and punctuates conversation with. That's why people are like, this guy's weird and shit. So there's like a logic to it as opposed to like he just became the Joker and started laughing and shit. Like laughing and fake huge laughter is like something that he involuntarily does. Interesting fucking idea, man. I'm on board.
Yeah. I cautious, but interested.
Yeah, I don't feel as cautious. I don't know. It doesn't feel irresponsible to me. It feels timely. It feels like, holy shit, this is a mirror. And we're going to see something familiar in it. And it's going to be weird because a lot of people don't expect that from a comic book movie. So let's see. Fingers crossed. But fuck, man, I'm glad. I'm glad that it worked out. Shit, I'm glad that people are liking it. Another good comic book movie means more good comic book movies down the line.
Amen. Speaking of Batman,
yeah.
Do you remember maybe a year ago, maybe a little less, we had a big-ass conversation about whether or not Batman could be a black guy?
Yes.
You know what DC's doing?
Are they doing Black Man?
Yeah.
Really?
That is the rumor du jour, is that in 2021 they're going to introduce a black Batman. It will not be Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
They haven't said yet which character it's going to be, whether it's going to be Lucius Fox's son, whether it's going to be, there's a rumor that it might be Black Lightning, which feels fucking weird. But they want somebody else in the cape and cowl, and they want that person to be of African descent.
Thoughts?
I am fine with it. You
I
didn't
thought
see
you were
that
gonna-
coming, right? You didn't see that coming.
No, I thought your thoughts were going to be like, they owe us money. I would have been like, you're fucking right.
I mean, my problem had always been that, like, oh no, you can put a different character in that suit and call it Batman, then it's fine. But retconning Bruce Wayne as African American, to me, didn't quite track.
Tell them why, because this is really interesting, and it's actually very smart.
Because Bruce Wayne, as the character exists, is a child of privilege, and is a child of old money, and is a child of the people who basically created Gotham City. Like the landed gentry who got kicked out of England for being fucking Protestant or whatever that shit was about. The rebels from the Revolutionary War who finally landed here and built a town. There was the Carnegies and Rockefellers and all the robber barons of American history. That person is not African American. That person kind of has to be white. And the responsibility, the guilt that comes generationally of that character who has benefited from centuries of theft and sort of wrapping their arms around a country that may or may not have deserved it or wanted it, and the sort of subjugation of certain peoples for the elevation of others. That guy, the son of that guy, is the one who decides, like, oh shit, I'm responsible for what Gotham is from a genetic way. And so I feel like I need to do what I can to fix it. And I'm also kind of crazy. And so I'm going to punch it in the face rather than, invest in infrastructure and like good schools. And
don't fucking ruin it with fucking infrastructure and shit. Didn't they build a train? I saw that in one of the movies.
They built one train.
And then they came to no good.
Really did. But so that idea that guilt, that societal guilt, that generational guilt, is part of what makes Bruce Wayne don the cape and cowl to begin with. And there are no African Americans that have that history in America to the point where they feel responsible for a city. It just doesn't exist. Old money, old black money doesn't really exist in that way. So there are people who have been rich for a while, like the Johnsons who own BET, like that's real money. Jay-Z's a fucking billionaire. But he does not feel responsible in that same way for, everything that's wrong with this city is because my father's 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 mother's father fucked it up from the jump.
Jay-Z's like, I got 99 problems, but a bat ain't one.
That's a sports thing. So yeah, that was always my reasoning, and the idea that you could just race bend Bruce Wayne for me felt wrong. In a way where you could race bend James Bond all you want. All he's got to do is be a fucking orphan. You could technically race bend Peter Parker if you want. All he's got to do is be from a broken home in Queens. Like, there's actually no good reason why that kid is white, and not like any of the other like 98 different versions of immigrants that you get in New York.
Right.
But there's just something about fucking Bruce Wayne who he's got to be that guy. But if you're going to just put somebody, make up a new character, and that guy now gets to wear the cape and cowl, like they did with Jean-Paul Vallée, like they did with, any number of people who have over the years. Fucking Dick Grayson was Batman for a heartbeat. Fucking apparently James Gordon was Batman and is Batman for a heartbeat in the Tom King books. So yeah, go for it. Make a new character. Give a guy a shot. How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel great because people put shit here for you to sign and shit, and this person did who is this? Joshua Montel from 077. Oh shit, that's back home Jersey style. Where are you? Well done. Not Marlboro. Holy shit. You remember? You know what Marlboro is?
Yeah, my old zip code was 07747.
You were right next door. Yeah, I was fucking. I'm 3-2. I grew up in, and then Red Bank is 01. But more importantly, he included a letter, so I went to open it because I always pull out the sleeve to sign the sleeve. And he wrote, "Dear Mr. Smith," this is how you start a fucking letter, kids. "Dear Mr. Smith, here's a premium sativa blunt to thank you for being such an icon and inspiration." Fucking well done, man. Fucking Joshua, that's how you do it, man. You give me some weed, and I'm like, happy. I'll sign anything. I'll sign your dick now. What do you want? Very fucking sweet. Anyway, all right, so they're going to make a black Batman. We know nothing about it other than it's going to happen. They made this announcement. How do they make that announcement? Hey, kids, he's black.
Did you like the Spider-Verse? Welcome to the Batverse.
Oh my God, you're right. They're like, we're going to take Batman on a trip for miles. Get it? Thank you. I'll even take that groaner,
You're living your best life today, man.
I really am. What other news do we got? That is a fucking well-made blunt, man. Well done.
Damn.
I will be smoking that tonight. I'm going to wake my wife up at 11:30. She'll be like, who gave you weed? What are you doing?
We did not have one Batman story this week. We didn't have two Batman stories this week. For everybody at home who's like, y'all motherfuckers never talk about Batman on your Fat Man Beyond show that's kind of Fat Man on Batman. I have three Batman news stories.
3 in a row?
3 in a fucking row.
Feels great, man. It's a good time to be a Batman fan. What do you got? What's the third story?
Robert Pattison did his first interview for Variety since he was cast as Batman, and had some shit to say. Some of it was interesting. Some of it's just like, rich, pretty actor talking about stuff. But let me see. When I was a kid, Batman was the only outfit that I had.
This is Robert Pattinson said
Robert
this?
Pattinson said that.
In an interview setting? Somebody didn't just overhear him at a Starbucks or something like that?
Yeah, he's totally eloquent.
Fair enough.
If I'd said in an interview, I would definitely have a lot of abuse afterwards. But if I successfully play the character, I can say so at the end. Blah, 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 blah.
This isn't inspiring confidence, I'll be honest with you. I was looking for a little more eloquence and shit.
He had a meeting with Marvel around the time when...
Then he's not Batmaning correctly, Mark.
It seems to be at a meeting with Marvel for Guardians of the Galaxy, but nothing came of it. So he was not opposed to doing a superhero thing.
Oh.
But
I wonder who he would have played.
Ronan, maybe?
No. He would, at that point, he was fucking famous. He was the boy from the Twilight. He's a sparkly vampire boy. There's no way they'll like play the character nobody remembers his fucking name. The guy with the hammer that's not Thor. Like, I'm sure they were going for, Peter Quill, right? I mean, who else? Not Gamora, unless they had a real different idea of what to do with the character.
But let's see. He talks about he got the job when he was shooting Christopher Nolan's Tenet, his like weird gloss on the James Bond spy thing, and he was able to then talk to Nolan about playing Batman.
What is Christopher Nolan's Tenet? Is that what he's doing now?
Yeah, it's coming out, I want to say next summer, but it's a big spy movie.
It's the movie he's making right now after his post-Dunkirk movie? And it's called what?
Tenet. T-E-N-E-T.
Why do you know that and I don't know that? When did they announce this shit?
A while ago.
Really?
Yeah.
They even announced the title? I remember them saying, like, he's going to make another movie. I was like, well, that's a foregone conclusion. But they never said what it was.
There was a trailer that I think is not online. You could only see it if you went to a 35 millimeter showing of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, shit, that ain't too pretentious. Sorry, where'd that come from?
Wow.
Sorry. Not normally that catty. My bad.
No. Somebody's got his sassy pants on today. But yeah, so he was able to talk about, the pressures of being Batman, the responsibility of the suit, all of that stuff. But yeah, he is not nearly as eloquent as you would think a British guy would be.
More or less, though, it says he sound like the good choice. I like him as an actor and shit, and I look forward to this movie, The Lighthouse, man, a big bad way.
Yeah.
I think he's a good choice. I know he doesn't maybe look the part, I guess, traditionally speaking, because he seems like a lanky kid. But Batman's all fucking suit, right? And when you're not in the suit, you gotta fucking be like, I'm tortured, and he did that in Twilight for fucking decades and shit. So I'm sure he'll be able to pull this off in his sleep.
Yeah, I mean,
have you heard what the story is?
I haven't. No. I mean, the rumors was it was Long Halloween.
Why do you?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I think you're letting information slip tonight that I didn't know the Tenet and I never heard that. Where are you getting this information?
The rumor was that it was Long Halloween.
Really?
Yes.
You know too?
Still, he knows.
It's the first time. Oh, you got two sources, you and that guy? To be fair, I heard it too. I heard it from a good source too.
As did I.
It blew my mind then and shit. But you saw how I reacted when Mark did. Remember that come Oscar time. That's all I'm saying. For your consideration. I heard that and I about creamed my jeans. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? And they're like, yeah, that's the word. I'm like, and then I stopped breathing and shit.
Yeah.
Can't wait. That'd be fun if that's it. But we don't know if that's it.
We don't know. No, we don't at all. Apparently. Damn.
All right, 3 Batman stories, man.
3 Batman stories, but I got another DC story.
Oh shit, we're still in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Things are happening.
Suicide Squad. They're adding members to that cast like you won't fucking believe.
The great James Gunn is directing Suicide Squad. Our wonderful friend Dave DeSmulchin is in it. And then are they bringing? Oh, Margot Robbie's in it.
Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, but
he's not playing. He's not replacing Will Smith as Deadshot. He's playing a completely new character.
Yeah.
Deadshot's not returning. I mean, as Will Smith, but not even as a character, if I understand correctly.
Apparently, we still get Jai Courtney and Joel Kinnaman.
Hold on. So that means you're getting
Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang and Rick Flag.
Yes, Viola Davis is back.
She was good.
Yeah,
Who else?
She's very good. Let's see. Steve Agee is playing King Shark.
Who?
Steve Agee. It's
The
comedian.
actor? Yeah. The one who was in the Guardians movie.
Yeah.
He's playing King Shark?
King Shark.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's tall. He can pull that off because they just built fucking CG over him, right?
But we're also
That's
apparently
cool.
going to get Taika Waititi.
In that movie?
In that
because
movie.
he knows James Gunn.
Yes.
Okay. As?
Unrevealed as of yet. Peter Capaldi, Doctor Who,
Is also going to be in the movie?
is also going to be in the movie. And Nathan Fillion.
Oh,
of course.
because
is gonna
he
be in a
knows
James
him
Gunn
from
movie.
Slither.
He
and
knows him from
shit.
Slither. He was in Guardians. He was in Super. He's been, I think.
Super, that's right. Wait, what was he in Guardians?
He is.
I thought he didn't make the cut.
He's
right?
in. No, he's not in Guardians 2.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be like
Wonder Man in a poster in the background.
In Guardians 1, he plays a CG character who accosts. It's on the prison sequence.
Oh, is that right?
And he's like accosting Gamora when she first comes in, and like Drax.
That's Nathan Fillion?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right, so he's going to be in Suicide Squad.
Yes, those three are definitely going to be.
Nathan Fillion, who do you think he could be playing? Oh my God, this is just, I don't know shit.
You don't know shit about shit.
But let's just play around, right? Because it's fucking fun. Suicide Squad. They're fucking around with it, set in the DC universe. Ain't nobody married to any more continuity and shit like that. You know, this guy's Batman and that ain't Ben Affleck, and this guy's the Joker and that ain't that person. What if Nathan Fillion is playing Batman? That would be fucking genius casting, man.
It would be.
I bet you it's not that, though.
Right. Or Green Lantern, which is actually played like 9 times on the various animated movies.
You might be onto something because based on a little information that I know from a fucking undetermined source, that would play. Wow. Wow, I hadn't even thought of that. Fuck, you always make a better movie.
I'm sorry.
Where were you when I was making Reboot? Fuck.
I was asleep in the crowd.
It's true, you were there. Fuck, man. All right, well, that makes me more excited for that movie. I think it's going to be amazing.
And apparently Pete Davidson is also going to play like an extended cameo.
In Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Right on. Jesus, this is shaping up, man. I mean, I was on board the moment they said James Gunn, but God damn it, Gunn just keeps firing, man, over and over. Thank you. Wow. Sorry.
You're on fuego, my friend.
While we have this moment before we go into the next story, we were given 2 pins. Yours is back there, mine is here. Robot Rabbit Collectibles, and it's a rabbit robot. Who made this? Whose is this? This is an adorable logo. What is it? What is?
It's my alter ego. That's me.
Robot Rabbit? Yeah. What a great idea. Why didn't anybody ever do this before? Like make a robot looks mechanical and shit. That's good. It's a fucking good idea right there, man. It's cute looking and shit. That's really cool, man. Is it a comic book or where can they find this?
So right now, I formed this company this year.
Holy shit, this is going to be a long story then. I was just looking for a URL or something. Go ahead. He's got the mic. JC got him the mic.
So I formed this company this year, and basically I formed a partnership with my comic shop, and I'm selling toys and other collectibles in that pin right now on eBay, and then by the end of the year, hopefully I'll have my own website. But Robot Rabbit has been my alter ego for a long time. I'm Robot Rabbit, and I have had this idea in my head for these characters forever, and the ultimate goal is to make action figures out of them.
Fucking A, man. Well, it's adorable. Give it up for Robot Rabbit right there. Entrepreneurial. We must have more news than that.
We do indeed.
Okay, what else is happening?
Quick hit, Watchmen has a release date. Finally.
Trailers for that look pretty good.
Yeah, October 20th.
October 20th, we get to see it.
TikTok.
I'll be on the road for the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Road Show.
Where
tour.
will you be on October 20th?
On the 20th, I believe I'll be in Chicago. I think the 19th we kick off the tour in New Jersey. And then the next night we're in Chicago, I think.
All
So
right.
I'll be in Chicago for that.
Good for you. I have no news, just that's happening. And I think a quick sweep up of the shit that we missed while we were gone, specifically the stuff that broke at D23.
Oh my God, that's right. We didn't get to talk about, like last weekend, Disney had their version of Comic-Con, which they call D23. What does that mean?
Yeah, they're a 23-inch long dick.
No, it
Zip every
doesn't.
year.
I was sitting there going, oh my God, does it? What is the...
I think it's like 1923 was the premiere of the first Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Is anybody into this shit? Anybody vouch for that?
Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat
was the
Willie.
first year, Steamboat Willie's 1923, hence D23. There you go. That
I
makes
was
sense.
pretty close.
Yeah, not bad.
I mean,
It seems like a weird, I guess whatever, it's a name, but
Yeah.
like it always seemed crazy to me, but now it makes sense. Cha-ching? You're right,
Yes.
that's why. I mean, fuck, they know how to cha-ching, don't they? Jesus Christ.
and it seems as if, as ever, our forecasting, prognosticating skills are on point.
Ooh.
Because Marvel announced 3 TV shows that we said that they should announce.
Yes. During this D23, we just got a bunch of announcements at Comic-Con where Kevin Feige went up and showed us the big board and said, this is phase, 3, 4? 4. This is phase 4, motherfuckers. And laid out the whole world and said, and now TV shows are part of it too on the Disney Plus app and shit. And we thought that was it. Like, I was like, well, that's a fuck ton of information. They won't say anything for a few more years. And then D23, they're like, oh, you think that's a lot of dick? Here's some more. And people were tripping over it, man. It was crazy how many fucking shows they were announcing. Tell them what they announced.
They announced Ms. Marvel. TV show.
Jesus. Like, that's incredible. And they've also said that it's not just going to be on Disney Plus. They're putting her in the movies as well.
Yes. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth.
This is, what is it, Kamala Khan?
As the first Muslim superhero.
And they're doing, this is a live action show.
Yes. All of these are live action. She-Hulk.
Amazing. And a great fucking idea. Like in a
Totally.
world where it's like you can't do a Hulk show, fucking do She-Hulk, man. That's pretty
Absolutely.
awesome. Keep the brand alive, and that's a great character on her own, having nothing to do with fucking Bruce Banner and stuff.
I think there's
she's
a lovely,
lawyer, man.
Yeah, Jennifer Walters.
Yeah.
I think there's a lovely little groundswell of support for Rosario Dawson as Jessica Walters.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, look, number one, put her in everything. But number two, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, when she's the Hulk, they're gonna
it's gonna be
CG her
CG
out
anyway.
and stuff. So yeah, I think she'd be amazing.
And I think the one that made you the happiest was Moon Knight.
Fuck. That was crazy, man. It was crazy that all of a sudden they were like, oh, by the way, Moon Knight. Like, it was unbelievably fucking beautiful. And that's going to be they're sparing no expense on these shows.
No,
So it's
spending all the
not
money.
even like, oh, Moon Knight on TV. It'll be like, they're going to make it look like a fucking movie. Moon Knight, for those that don't follow this kind of shit, is like Marvel's Batman, more or less. If they think they're doing the Mark Spector version. Fuck, man, that's going to be dope. And he's got a cool costume. Really cool. I can't wait to see that rendered. Again, live action?
Live action.
Fuck. I'm on board for all of that. What else did they announce there?
They announced that Black Panther 2 is officially coming, but not until 2021.
Oh, my God. You know what?
Double check.
I'll take it.
No, sorry, 2022. May 6th, 2022.
Oh, well, now we riot. Wow, fucking, well, gives us something to look forward to, but that smells like 3 years away, no?
It does. He just turned in a treatment, Ryan Coogler, who was there. Says, I gave him the treatment for what I want the movie to be. Now they got to write it and make it. So,
This is the one where, weren't we thinking it might have Namor in it?
yes.
The Submariner? Fuck, that'd be amazing. They didn't say nothing like that, though.
They would not reveal the title or the identity of the villain just yet.
All right.
But it's on the horizon.
It's so crazy because you're like, oh man, but we just saw Black Panther. But Black Panther happened a while back, and then we had 2 Avenger movies that he was in since then. So, I mean, will he be in anything else prior to Black Panther 2? What?
I mean, it wouldn't be.
Hold on. That was said with such certainty. Is that Kevin Feige?
Yeah.
What would he be in before that? Do you know something we don't? Are you sitting on information? We'll talk after the show.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a world in which he could definitely be in Falcon and Winter Soldier, because there's a tie definitely to Winter Soldier. because that character was the White Wolf who just spent.
It just fucking broke my brain. I'm like, they could do that.
Wait, what?
And they will probably because
Yeah.
like they're treating them like movies anyway. Wow. That was great, man. Yeah, this fucking Disney Plus is everything.
I signed up for it.
Did you?
I did, because they were running this crazy fucking deal, which is now over, but it was like a Founders Day deal where during D23 up until September 2nd, if you joined D23, which is their fan club, you could join for free. You could get a little like voucher code or whatever that knocked off like 30% of the fee for every year. Basically, you could sign up for 3 years for $150.
Wow.
And if I remember correctly, Netflix is like $15.99 a month. So basically, for the same amount of money, you get 3 years of Disney Plus and 1 year of Netflix.
Fuck. That's
Yeah.
a lot of math.
That's a lot of fucking math. But like,
3 years, man. Just
3
when your
years.
fucking subscription runs out, Black Panther 2.
yep. But yeah, they're doing their best to fucking cripple Netflix.
I mean, they're I don't know if they're trying to cripple Netflix as much as get us to buy. And they got me. They had me at, fucking hello and shit. But then they started announcing what they're doing. And I'm like, I saw a fucking trailer for a Bill Hader movie with, what's her name? Anna Kendrick that looked like Paul Dini's fucking Jingle Bell. It's called Noelle, and she's like Santa Claus's daughter and shit. Bill Hader is Santa Claus's son, and he's taking over for Santa Claus, but he don't want to be Santa Claus and shit. And it looked like, I was watching the trailer going like, oh, this must be an SNL joke or something. Like fucking, did they make this movie? And it's literally like, coming in November. Like they've been making movies secretly on the QT and shit just for fucking Disney Plus. Lady and the Tramp, that was another trailer. All of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, they did Lady and the Tramp.
Getting these dogs to try and fuck.
That spaghetti eating scene's gonna look weird, man.
Super fucking weird. Like, why are we rooting for these dogs to fuck in an alley?
but
I guess we
there's-
just are.
They're so smart though. Like fucking, why not? Like nobody else is gonna make Lady and the Tramp. Nobody else can. They can. They can put it on their fucking thing, and people are like, shit, I'll watch that. Man, they're smart. I mean, I know they know that, but they're gonna make a lot of money.
A lot of money. Even if they lose
Breaking
money
news.
in
There's
fun.
my hot take for the week.
Disney doing
I
well.
think they're gonna do well.
They're also making, they're carving some space out of California Adventure, and I think doing similar in Florida and in Paris, doing an Avengers campus.
Saw that. There's gonna be a whole Marvel land. My biggest question is, what does that mean for in Universal Florida? They got Marvel Islands of Adventure.
I don't know. I don't know what that deal is. I don't know how long that deal lasts.
So do you think it ends at a certain point, and then Marvel
could.
Disney's like, no thanks, we'll take our
Yeah.
characters back?
Yeah.
What is it? It is more based on the comic book stuff. You're very true, very right. So they'll let that license keep going?
Maybe. Or they'll pull it back
If I'm Disney, I'm like, fuck you. We just spent, what, $75 billion to fucking buy the X-Men characters? You think we're going to let Universal theme parks have a Marvel land? Fuck you. That means there's going to be a lot of open real estate in Marvel's Islands of Adventure at Universal Studios Florida. So I fucking say Jay and Silent Bob land is fully licensable and available. And you don't even have to make big, stupid, like fucking foam characters of us. Me and Jay will show the fuck up. Man. Take pictures, ride roller coasters. That'd be amazing. I can't wait to walk on the Avengers campus. But I'll be honest with you. A couple years ago, I was like, I can't wait to go to Galaxy's Edge, and I could because I still haven't gone yet. So
Me neither.
I'm part of the problem.
Field trip.
Yeah, but I'll be there soon. But I'll definitely be there on day one for this shit. Man.
They're also in the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida building the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yeah, that's the big
It's a
hotel.
big fucking hotel.
It's an immersion experience. They finally gave out more details. Basically, it's a 3-day package or like 2 days, 3 nights or whatever the fuck. They're saying it's going to be like $1,100, $1,400 per person. And you go into a building and it's like dinner theater. It's like, fucking murder mystery theater for 2.5 days. Kylo Ren is coming and he's going to board and fucking like that happens like day 2 or whatever the fuck. Everyone's wearing costumes. You can't dress like us, normal. You got to fucking dress up like in that world. There are no fucking windows to the outside world whatsoever. Once you enter the property, you're immersed. And so the windows in your room are TV screens, giant monitors, and they're just showing you space outside. So it's not like, hey man, I'm gonna go and I want a vacation. Let's go to that Star Wars hotel. This is a fucking trip in and of itself that you can't leave and go to Disney World and shit. Although there's an underground tram system that brings you to the Star Wars Millennium Falcon ride at Galaxy's Edge, but they don't let you walk in the park and interact with normies and shit because you're wearing the clothes, you're in the world and shit. So they tunnel you in and then tunnel you out. They really wrap their head around this, man. I can't think of anybody that's done something like this.
Because it feels illegal. We're going to kidnap you for 3 days, and you're going to pay us to do it, and we may or may not kill you and sacrifice you to raise the body of fucking Walt Disney from the grave. 1,000 people in a clip. We can get them there, right? How many souls will it take?
$1,400 a person doesn't sound like a vacation. It sounds like a paycation, man. That sounds fucking expensive. However, it's 3 days of an experience. You'll go home and be like, fucking Kylo Ren walked into our bedroom and shit. Could you imagine being a kid and being able to tell your friends, Kylo Ren came into my room and they're like, no, he didn't. You're like, look at my fucking phone, bitch.
He just sat at the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You just fucking.
I can feel your force.
I just want to watch you sleep. You look so peaceful. I'm like, I can't wait to go, but I bet you I could wait to go to that. But I would go. That sounds kind of cool. I just don't know, you're not in charge of your own life for 3 days. It doesn't sound like you get to go hey man, can I go over, to Disney for an hour? They're like, there is no Disney.
Yeah, that's some John Hammond type shit right there.
That's true. It really. Oh my God, that's why it's familiar. It's Jurassic Park. Kylo Ren's gonna go crazy and cut you in half.
So fucking well all the time. I'm just saying.
That's right. It's Westworld.
I got one last story.
Okay.
Because.
Take us home, Papa.
Students at a Nashville Catholic school will no longer have access to the Harry Potter series because they were banned and removed from the library because apparently these books, and I quote, present magic as both good and evil, which is not true, but in fact a clever deception. The curses and spells used in the books are actual curses and spells, which when read by a human being risk conjuring evil spirits into the presence of the person reading the text.
Are you fucking shitting me? Nobody told me that.
No.
That would have made those books a lot more enjoyable, man. Going let's see if this works.
So yeah, that's a new story from today, and not 5 years ago. But sure.
Wow. These people that pulled the book, Christian by any chance?
Hey, Catholic. Yeah, Catholic diocese.
That's my
of
people.
Nashville.
Yeah, we don't like reading.
My favorite part of that whole news story, Rowling could not be reached for comment.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems irregular. She seems to comment on anything. Anytime anybody's like, hey man, was Dumbledore gay? She's like, not only was he gay, let me tell you how he did it. And fucking gives you details and shit.
No, I think even she was like, I'm not going to tag up on this. Just let them do what they're going to do.
I'm sure it means she'll sell more books ultimately, right?
Probably.
Just because they're losing them in that school system don't mean fucking, they can't get them anywhere. Somebody gave me a gift. I want to open it, but there's so much tape. Mr. Kevin Smith, happy belated B-Day. Who gave me this?
Don't even fucking joke, man. Because it's going to be Kevin Smith died in a bar, unnamed black person, also dead.
As Mark and I enter heaven, Mark's like, I told you that Joker movie was going to be trouble.
Somebody dropped it off and then didn't come to the show.
Somebody dropped it off and fucked off, and you let me open it, JC?
It was
Motu and Pop Stuff, bonus Robin and the Dreamweavers. And then there's a card with it. Happy belated birthday.
The door guy checked it for anthrax and things.
It wasn't ticking. Cordially, Pat Jackson. And a guy, and he gave me his email address. Oh, there's a cute dog on the
Oh,
card.
Pat.
All right.
Pat, it comes to the show. He's safe.
He's good. You can vouch for this, Pat?
I'll vouch for him.
Fucking A. Well, thanks, Pat. But wow, for a minute there, it was really exciting, right? Like,
If you
all
say
right.
so.
Well, and what is this? Somebody said, hi, Kevin. The portrait on the board is for you to keep. The loose one is for an autograph, and this is from Taylor. And let's see, the one on the board, I love instructions. I'm a director, so I really respected that, man. I was like, that's fucking thorough.
I want the
The one on the board. Oh, the one on the board is mine, and this one I'm signing. Yeah. Who you did this? Fucking A, man. What? Is that a drawing? A digital painting. Fuck, well done. I was gonna say like, holy shit, that looks like me. I'm signing a loose one. Yeah. To anybody or just tagging it? What's his name? Taylor. Oh, that's right. I just read it. Hold on, Taylor. What's your name? No. And I get to keep the other one on the board? Yeah. Oh my God, my wife's gonna love this. Like, yet another fucking picture of you, Kevin. I swear she's a fan. That's really nice, man. Thank you. I'll put that up here. Is there anything I didn't sign? Can you pass me that shit? And then what's this thing? The action stars. Anybody who vouches for this? Right here. What's the story there? JC will give you a mic. The action stars. At the action stars. What is it?
We're on social media. We're just trying to make people laugh with action figures.
Oh, fucking A, right on, man. Like fucking, they used to do in Wizard Magazine and shit.
Exactly.
Toy Fair and shit. Yeah. Or what I'm saying, God, what an H&F reference. Like they do on Robot Chicken. That's a little more current.
Did you just like give
I'm
me
like,
your
remember in the
license and-
90s they did that? You're like, bro, they still do it today. That's really cool, man.
This dude wanted us to sign this and not apparently steal his identity, which has his like bank card and license inside.
This is one of those theft-proof things, right? Like
Yeah.
it can't get
His
like,
wallet.
they can't steal your fucking codes or whatever.
I mean, they can if you just put it on somebody's bar and walk away.
This one says, please make to Scully. Holy shit, my dead dog's name was Scully. Is it you? Who's Scully? Hey, man, is that your real name? Yeah. Was it a last name of something? Last name. Fucking A. How popular were you when that show was on the air? I remember I had a dog named Scully. I had Mulder and Scully. We were big fans of the X-Files and shit. And so whenever we'd watch the show, you know, they always said each other's names all the time, like Mulder, Scully, and the dogs would be like... It was almost as entertaining as X-Files. All right. Is everything signed?
Yes.
What about that thing?
This is a box of cards. If you want to sign...
Tag everyone. All right. We're done with the news.
Yes, we are.
That means, give it up for Mark. He gave you the news. Now we come to the part of the show, ladies and gentlemen, that folks like and seem to like. It's the Q&A portion of the show, man, where we open it up to you, the good folks in the audience, and you get to ask some questions. And if you ask some really cool questions, you walk away with one of these 3 fabulous prize bags. That's right, we're on bags now, fools. Good folks at 4DX, who have just about the most entertaining fucking way to watch a movie, a chair that moves and spits at you and fucking shakes you up and whatnot. You never fall asleep in one of their movies because
No.
start going out and all of a sudden like bang and shit. It's a great way to watch a movie. Our friend Brett Deacon has been giving us tickets for a long, long time and stuff from the good folks at 4DX. And also, what's the other thing? ScreenX. That's how we watched Spider-Man,
yeah.
Far From Home and stuff. So as per usual, if you if you get picked and your question's good and shit, you're gonna win tickets, 2 tickets to 4DX. You can go see anything there.
Apparently the next thing coming up is It.
It is
Chapter
coming
2.
up. And did JC, you got
Brett
some
was
info?
like, "It is scary as fuck," was his quote.
Brett Deacon.
It's direct quote.
Yes.
Brett Deacon said, "It is scary as fucking
It
4DX."
Chapter 2 is scary as fuck in 4DX.
There you go. So if you win these fucking tickets, just froze up. I saw a camera. I was like Cindy Brady. That's an old reference. You win one of these, you can go see It Chapter 2, which comes out like in 2 minutes or whatever in 40X and stuff. So how fucking awesome is that? But also what you'll get from the good folks at Hot Topic are a bunch of Jay and Silent Bob reboot shirts, man. So this one's got movies, I'm eating it t-shirt. This one has another movie shirt, win any movie stuffy. Looks like that. Pull that shirt out. Looks like this. And then the other one, oh, that's a Chronic t-shirt. Blunt Man and Chronic symbol. The actual Chronic logo. As designed by Mr. Mike Allred, the creator of Mad Men. If you like these shirts, they got good folks at Hot Topic are doing a fuck ton of shirts for Reboot, man. And I'm the kind of guy that like that shit matters to me because I wear t-shirts and whatnot. And then I used to never want to wear my face on my t-shirt because I was like, that's gross. But like that's marketing. So now I fucking wear my shirts for all the shit that I do and whatnot. So anytime they're like, hey, we're gonna do a new shirt, I'm like, fuck yeah, do it. And they made a bunch of shirts. You go to hottopic.com, there's a whole Jay and Silent Bob reboot section. So tonight you're gonna win a Hot Topic t-shirt, you're gonna win 40X tickets. If you ask a question that both me and Mark can answer, that's all we ask. We don't ask that you give us a question and shit like that, that like only one of us can answer and stuff. But JC, I guess we've changed it a little bit. Like we used to just like pick people at random and shit.
Yeah,
JC came up with a better system.
Yeah, I made a lot of enemies that way. So we're doing.
Well,
it this way
why?
now.
What do you mean? How'd you make enemies? Because people are like, you didn't pick me.
I mean, there's this many questions every night, and everybody's like, we had a connection. I was like, I talked to 40 people tonight, and they're like, but you and and I was like, okay, we gotta. I don't like being the bad guy.
So now what do you have them do?
So now we have index cards that people write questions on before the show starts, and Andrew and I go through them and pick questions that work with the subject matter of what we've talked about during the show and don't repeat week after week after week.
Right on. All right. So streamline. There we go. All right. Sweet. So JC has vetted the questions, picked 3 people, and give us our first victim.
We got Oscar Gonzalez.
Oscar, come on up, man. Give it up for Oscar.
This better be good, or I'm not giving you your license back.
I'm sorry?
This better be good, or I'm not giving you your license back.
No, I'll be getting it back, I'm sure. All right, well, my name is Oscar Gonzalez. Thanks.
How are you, Oscar? Welcome,
doing pretty
man.
good. Bit nervous. Hi. My question for you guys is, what has helped you overcome a difficult event or part in your life, and how have you been able to apply that lesson learned into your everyday, or when things get difficult?
What a great fucking question. Number 1, you win. Pick a bag. Go ahead. Pick one. Movie, Chronic. Nobody likes movie. What a great question. Do you have one? I got one. Do you need to think? Because I can go like that.
You go like that.
Mine's so easy, from the hip. Luckily, I'm not just a person that gets to watch movies. A few times I've gotten to make them. And so the movie that most helped me out in life was incredibly therapeutic and did make me a better person and did get me through hard times was hands down Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy, if you knew me before Chasing Amy and then knew me after Chasing Amy, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, he just fucking grew up over the span of a year and shit. That helped me stop being the individual I was. I don't know if I always chalk it up to being Jersey because Jason Mewes is still the same kind of way. Brian Johnson was the same kind of way. Like we're very jealous, like very like tightly wound. I chalked it up to years later, male sexual insecurity and shit like that. But we were all a little bit fucked up about sex. Not fucked up in a sinister way, but just like, you saw Chasing Amy. Fucking Holden had a real issue with like, wait, you had sex with fucking guys? Like, that whole movie is about that whole movie's about
kind
me.
Of insecurity, kind of.
What is it?
Insecurity. Like
Insecurity. Yeah, very much so. But yeah, if Holden of all the characters I've created is the one that's closest to me. So Holden's journey was kind of my journey, although I was never like, we should all fucking sleep together and shit. That was something for the movie. But I was that person who felt like, oh my God, I created something. I created a little piece of art and it traveled and it gave me a job and fucking I'm fucking liberal-minded and shit. I'm progressive and blah, blah, blah. And then Holden, just like I was forced to face the fact that he's fairly conventional, like at the end of the day. Even as he thinks of himself as like, hey, I'm worldly, and then he meets somebody who's truly worldly, and it completely fucking challenges his worldview and shit like that. So that movie, making that movie stopped me from being that individual. It helped me grow up. I never could have been married to the woman I've been married to for the last 20 years if I hadn't made Chasing Amy, because she had boyfriends before me. She was even engaged to somebody before we fucking met. And I know who I was. I mean, you see Chasing Amy, that's who I was. I would have been so fucking crazy like about that. Like fucking like, you know, was he better than me? How many dicks did you suck? Like that kind of shit. You see it in the movies. It was but it stopped at a certain point. Like it's in Clerks. There's a little bit in Mallrats. It's definitely in Chasing Amy, but it stops in Chasing Amy. And then it stopped in my real life as well. Like after I did Chasing Amy, I was like, oh shit, I don't want like some girlfriend who's like been in a box or something like that. I want somebody who's worldly, who's been out there, who's tasted life. You're supposed to learn something in a relationship and shit like that. It's supposed to be a little dangerous. Your heart has to be on the line. You have to feel inadequate sometimes. These are the things that help you grow as an individual and shit like that. So in making that movie, I was able to like kind of get beyond that. I remember after that, I was like, you know, fucking, I completely changed my ethos. Like I was like, now I just want to find people that did a fuck ton of fucking before I ever met them, and then I met my wife, and so.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
No, that movie definitely changed who I was for the better. So I can't think of any movie outside of one I've made. What's my go-to fucking feel-good movie? I honestly don't think I have one where I'm like, I'm just gonna put this in because it always makes me feel warm and fuzzy. I will like go down hard and deep on a Marvel movie, man. Like they make me feel great, but I don't have like, you know, I had a bad day. Let me watch Iron Man. I'm just like, it's Tuesday, let's watch Iron Man, you know, fucking. So I don't have a movie that like has been my security blanket, but I did make one. You?
I think I talked a little bit about my weird relationship with Finding Nemo before.
Yes, but do a little bit why, so everyone has context.
So
it's beautiful.
So when my daughter was born, I was the nerd and I was a movie nerd who had like been collecting DVDs, and I had like the library of fucking shit that I was going to expose my kids to, because that's what you do when you're a movie lover. Here's the parts of my personality that I've managed to collect and put on the shelf that I'm going to slowly, film by film by film, teach you who I am through what I love. And that was the plan. That was straight up the plan. And so I had like 1,000 fucking movies in the house just waiting for her to get old enough to want to dig into these with me. And then by like 18 months, almost 2 years old, we realized that developmentally something wasn't quite firing for her on all cylinders. And she was diagnosed as autistic, and which, you know, the experience of being a parent of a special needs kid is one of revising expectations. You know, like when a kid is born, it's like, oh, I'm going to give you the world. I'm going to do everything. Start the fucking college fund. I got to save up for your wedding. I'm going to do all this stuff. And then as that kid develops, typically or atypically, you just begin revising what those things are. But things remain on the table for your average kid. But for us, it was starting to pull things off the table. Like, okay, college probably isn't in the cards, but maybe high school, we'll see. You know, this, but maybe not that. And her attention span was not such that she was going to watch any movie ever that I put in front of her, except for Finding Nemo. It's the only movie she will still watch, beginning to end. She's almost 17 years old. It's the only movie she'll watch, soup to nuts. And so my relationship to that movie was first one of like, oh, we got one. You guys, you got a movie she's going to fucking watch. This is great. And then like 40 times of watching Finding Nemo, it's like, fuck. Again with the just keep swimming? And then like 200 times of watching Finding Nemo, and like 400 times of watching Finding Nemo, because it became her security blanket. Like when she's upset, she wants her Nemo phone, which is just like her phone that we just stripped from everything else and only loaded Finding Nemo on. So that's what she watches. I want my Nemo phone. Okay,
oh my God, I want a Nemo phone, man. That sounds amazing.
Right? And so my relationship to that movie is very much tied to my relationship to my daughter. And that movie's fundamentally about a father realizing who his child actually is and accepting that child for who he is. And so that movie for me is very much wrapped in to being a parent and being a grown-up and rolling with punches and never finding a way or choosing to look differently at somebody you love.
Give it up for Mark, man.
That's beautiful, man.
Excellent question. Give it up for my man as well. Beautiful.
Yeah, you can need that.
Pleasure, man. All right, JC, who's next?
Lizzie Mitchell.
Lizzie,
Mitchell.
give it up for Lizzie, everybody. Lizzie, come on up.
Yay! Where, hold on. Come
It's
on,
a team
Lizzie.
effort, is it? You can both come up if you need to.
Hello.
Hey! Oh, that's a fucking local accent. Yeah. Where from the UK? What part?
Just west of London.
Right on.
But I live in Scotland with my Scottish husband.
Right on, man.
Did he kidnap you before you came here?
What you got for us, Lizzie?
So if either of you were to write a screenplay, Kevin, if you're going to write one for Mark, or Mark, you were going to write one for Kevin, would you cast the other as a hero or a villain? And also, what genre would it be in?
One more time. If we could make a movie
Starring each other.
starring each other, would we cast each other as the hero or the villain, and what genre would it be?
Yes.
What a great fucking question. That's
Yeah.
definitely going to win tickets. Give it up for her, ladies and gentlemen. Also, just the accent and lady doing a British accent took me back to like J.K. Rowling had no comment. But that's what it would have sounded like. All right, so what's the idea here, man? You want to go first or me?
I can go first.
Go.
I think I would cast. Okay, first it's a heist movie.
Yeah.
I think it might be a heist movie set at a convention,
Yeah.
Nice.
and I think Kev is he's the Terry Benedict of this particular story. So you're the dude getting heisted because you have.
Oh, man.
I know.
I'm the dupe. I'm the pigeon. I'm the mark.
You're the mark. But yeah, I think you're.
But in the sequel, it works out for him. You're right.
Yeah, totally.
But what if the first one ain't good enough to get to a fucking sequel and shit?
Dude, I'm writing it. It'll be good.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like I think you have like let's pretend that you have all of Jack Kirby's pencils for like Fantastic Four #1.
Okay.
And you take it on tour, and you're gonna be at fucking San Diego Comic-Con with these 22 pieces of comic book history that are worth millions and millions of dollars, and it's got to get heisted from you.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I get to play Kevin Smith?
You get to play fucking Kevin
So
Smith.
fucking easy.
Duh.
I like it. I buy it, man. So genre is heist genre.
Heist genre, yeah, with a little bit of geek. Shot through with a bunch of geek.
Who? Before I commit to this picture, who else is in it? Who are the Ocean's 11? Who's heisting me?
I don't know. What?
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion as Batman? Because I'm in, man.
I remember we had a different idea. There was some podcast a while back, years and years ago, where we talked about like San Diego Comic-Con. San Diego's a military town. And we were wondering why San Diego, the Comic-Con itself, is always without incident. Like that is a soft target if ever there was one. If you were like a bad dude who wanted to do bad things, there's 100,000 nerds just in a city full of love and joy, and I can't.
Would you shut the fuck up? Oh my God! Between the Joker and this, you're like violence, everyone, violence. Don't fucking tempt fate.
Come to me, my child. and that the heroes of that particular story were a bunch of like fucking military folks who were on leave. So like Captain America is cosplaying as Captain America, basically.
That's cool.
You know, there's a bunch of soldiers dressed up as heroes who foil whatever fucking crime is happening. So I think maybe the good guys are dressed. There's fucking cosplayers or cosplay thieves who are doing the right thing for the wrong reasons against the wrong person for the right reasons.
I like it. Mine from Mark, genre, body horror. Title, Tusk 2. Another podcaster goes looking through a set of circumstances, winds up in the same place as a craggly, deformed-looking old man with weird scars all over and he's also missing limbs and shit like that. And it's Justin Long's character, who is now the old man, who's been de-walrused and shit like that, but is still in his head a walrus at heart. And there's a new victim who he's got to pass it on to and shit.
Can I make a tiny tweak?
Go ahead.
What if Justin Long's mania is not for walruses, but for mammoths?
For mammoths? Like woolly mammoths?
Something else with tusks, baby. Like just
Oh, so tusk too. So it's not walrus. It's something else with
it's
the
something
tusk.
else with tusks.
So by that, like it could be. So it could be. All right. That's
It's
number one. It's clever.
Tusk 2, ebony and ivory.
Oh my God, that was good. Were you building to that? You're a fucking writer. That was clever. I was sitting here trying to go like, I'm gonna bust a narwhal joke. That was way fucking better, man. Yeah, there it is. That's mine, man, and that's his. What a great question. Pick one of these. You won. Pleasure. Welcome to America. How has your time in the States been?
I've only been here 4 days so far.
You've only been here 4 days so far?
Yeah.
Did they warn you before you came over? They were like, that's a hostile country right now and shit.
No, I've been loving it so far. I love the heat. I come from Scotland. I live in Scotland, so this is great.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat going on here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. Or congrats.
Yes. All right, what do we got, man? We got one bag left. Does anybody, the next person, have an accent? Because that was fucking awesome.
Joel Elston.
Joel! Everyone give it up for Joel! Joel, what do you got for us, man? JC likes your question, so let's hear it.
Thank you. So I've been rewatching the Batman 66 TV series recently.
Right
and
on.
Kind of playing around in my head, I started recasting. So my question for the two of you, let's say you are now in charge of putting out a brand new version of the 66, trying to keep it as campy, as real to the original series. Who are you casting in these roles? Like I've already, for instance, I thought maybe Kelsey Grammer as King Tut or Patton Oswalt as Egghead. So who do you have as maybe your Batman, your Robin, your Gordon, somewhere in there?
I want to live in your world, man. That's good thinking. Number one, that's going to win. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. That's a great question. I will say this. When we were working on the Clerks cartoon years ago, I worked with a very talented fellow named Dave Mandel and stuff. He came from Seinfeld and SNL. After us, he went on to Curb Your Enthusiasm, and then he just did the last 2-3 seasons of Veep. Now has a big fat deal with HBO and stuff. Dave is like a very funny idea person, and I love him dearly. He had an idea when we were working on Clerks on the cartoon. He goes, if this works, he's going, we should do my dream show. And I was like, what's your dream show? And he goes, Catman. And I was like, what is it? And he goes, it's literally just Batman again, but we call him Catman. And he's like, just like fucking, we get an Adam West type and a Burt Ward. He's like, I just want to make that fucking show, so we'll just call it Catman and just like see if anyone notices and shit. I hope with this big fat HBO deal, that's what it, ladies and gentlemen, Catman. Like people when they close their loops. Let's see. My Batman 66 now, my campy Batman now, and who would I cast? God bless you.
Who's your Bruce Wayne?
I was going to say, Putty, but he already did it in The Tick, right? David Warburton?
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion.
Listen, that dude is the all-purpose just Nathan Fillion. It's perfect for it.
And every time you need a Batman, he's waiting. Let's see. Who would I... I would personally, because I think he's fucking hysterical. I would, and he has played Batman. I would go with Diedrich Bader as Bruce Wayne Batman.
Excellent. Yeah.
So that would be my live action Batman 66 equivalent. Who would be my Burt Ward? Who could be Robin? Michael Cera, who has played Robin once. I think would make a very earnest boy wonder, because Michael Cera is like 30-something by now. Like, he's no longer a boy, but neither was Burt Ward when he played Robin. So, okay, Michael Cera. It's awfully, now I'm getting hit up on Twitter, Batman so white, so I gotta fucking mix it up a little bit. My Catwoman, Leslie Jones. She just left SNL, so she's free. And she's funny. Fucking Kelsey Grammer's King Tut is a genius idea. Fuck, I can't top that. That's beautiful. Let me see. I know. I'm sorry. I'm having a lot of fun in my head, and I should really just spit it out, because I was sitting there going, "Who would Jeffrey Ross play? The Riddler?" Like shit like that. Joker. I got to cast a Joker. Hold on. Give me a sec. No suggestions, because this is important.
This is real work.
Yeah. Everybody, shut the fuck up. This is important. It's a modern day Joker, but it's a Cesar Romero take, and so it's not going to be sinister Joker. It's going to be fucking happy-go-lucky clown prince of crime Joker.
Yeah, boner Joker.
What is it?
Boner Joker. Committing boners.
The boner Joker has a whole different meaning to me. I was like, I want to see that one, man. Boner Joker. What did he do? They're like, let's see. Who would be the modern day fucking Joker? Who's fun and...
Sorry.
You got one?
I got one. But I haven't gone yet, so I'm going to save it up.
Okay. You got to nail the Joker. I feel pretty good about my Batman and Robin. I feel good about my Catwoman, but Joker is important. Joker's going to come up so many episodes, if you're following that model of Batman 66. When they grabbed Cesar Romero, he was famous 15 years prior to that and shit. In movies and whatnot. So I got to grab somebody.
You got to start writing this shit down.
Yeah.
You're taking too long.
Sorry, my bad. I'm really taking it seriously. You can tell, when the question captures my imagination, I get really into it, where I'm like, no, I can't just say some bullshit. This matters.
Okay.
This might be a little controversial. I'm going to go with Michael J. Fox as my Joker.
Very interesting. Does he have facial hair underneath the makeup?
Oh my God. Yeah, he would have to rock a mustache in order to honor Cesar Romero. Be a different take. I don't know. Michael J. Fox, we all love him. I think we'd like to see him play Joker. Am I alone in that? If in this fictional version of the show, I'm not saying it needs to happen, but I'm I'd tune the fuck in and watch that. Be like, what? Marty McFly is playing the fucking Joker? Boy, this was fun for me. I'm going to stop, though. You go.
All right. For my Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Timothy Oliphant.
Ooh. Olyphantastic is your Bruce Wayne?
Yeah. Because I think you don't want a comic actor for that. Adam West was not a comedian. He thought he was playing fucking Shakespeare. He took it as seriously as a heart attack.
Fair.
So I think you want a person, and I think Oliphant's got a good sense of humor, and I think he can roll with it. But he's a legit fucking actor. Donald Glover is my Robin.
Nice.
Catwoman. Fuck, I had somebody. But you took all day, and now I forgot it.
Fucking blame your performance on mine.
Yeah, okay. Kristen Schaal is my Catwoman.
Can I amend my Joker?
Yes.
Tracy Morgan.
Ooh, nice.
I'm gonna get you pregnant, Batman. Every episode.
My Riddler is Eddie Murphy.
Oh, you got a lot of money for your show. This
In
must
my
be one of
brain,
those Disney Plus shows.
I got
Holy
Disney money in
shit.
here. And for the Joker,
Okay. Also, hold that thought because it's going to be good. But when
Yeah.
you said Eddie Murphy, did you see he is going to fucking host Saturday Night Live? Yeah. That was like the greatest news I saw of the week last. I was like, oh my God.
I don't care about any of these other people. Eddie in December.
Yeah, that's a save the date. I can't wait. All right, so back to your Joker. Who's your Joker?
My Joker is Parker Posey.
Wow, interesting. You've intrigued me. That's interesting. I think
Does
my
she
Joker
have a
is funny.
mustache? Does she have a mustache? under the
Yes,
movie?
Parker will be wearing the Cesar Romero mustache with makeup on
Listen,
top.
we
of
got to
it.
layer this. You got 2 or 3 things going on here.
My God, that was fucking good. Give it up for him. That was a great question. You won. Take your damn bag.
Thank you, Joel.
Great fucking job. Oh my God.
Oh,
now
don't
I'm
forget your
obsessed with
magic.
that.
Don't forget your booty bag.
That's the important part, man.
Booty bag.
There it is. We're out of booty bags and everything's been signed and we have no more fucking news. That means the show is at an end. Ladies and gentlemen, did you have a good time this evening? Me too. When do we do this again?
We do this again in 2 Tuesdays on the 17th.
So not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after?
And we have a guest for that Tuesday.
Who? Oh, are we telling him or no?
Yeah, and it might be the shiniest guest we've ever had in here. Like
Meaning they've won awards?
They've won Oscars. They have more than one Oscar on their shelves.
Have we ever had an Oscar winner on our show?
I don't believe we have.
Ooh, our first.
Our first.
All right, wait, who is it?
And it will be a homecoming of sorts, because here in the cantina, he was the guy who created many of the creatures in the original cantina.
Rick Baker's gonna be on the fucking show?
Rick Baker's gonna be on our
Holy
fucking
shit,
show.
man. Fucking hey. How'd that happen?
He's got a autobiography that he's sort of going around and promoting, and he was like, well, can I come and be on your show? And I said, yes.
He does, every year he does like these family photos with his whole family, like where he goes makeup crazy and does what he does for, won Oscars for. And they all look art directed within an inch of their lives. It's really fucking beautiful. I don't know what I would want to talk to him about the most. Probably fucking American Werewolf and shit. American Werewolf's effects still hold up to this day.
Yeah.
In a world of CG and shit like that, like I just watched that X-Men movie and every time Beast went feral, it was like, oh, it's an effect and shit. But the watching his fucking snout grow and watching him look at his hand as it stretched and shit, and they did all that with practical effects, that shit still fucking works to this day. And you're also talking about the guy that invented the Nazi werewolves in that movie. The ones that come in like and shit. Oh my God, I can't fucking wait to talk to him. All right, so that's in 2 weeks.
That's in 2 weeks. It'll also be our 2nd anniversary of doing a podcast here at the cantina.
Is that right?
It is.
2 years being
2
here
years.
at Scum and Villainy?
So we got an Oscar winner to come celebrate with us.
Fucking A, man. Well done. That's you. Give it up for Mark. He got a guest.
Woohoo!
On Friday, if people are looking for shit to do at 8 o'clock, Hollywood Babylon, me and Ralph going on right down the street at the Improv on Melrose and whatnot, the Hollywood Improv. Tickets at csmod.com. Failing that, we'll see you guys in fucking 2 weeks. There's no show, as you've seen, without the guy standing next to me. Give it up for Mr. Mark Bernard, ladies and gentlemen. And that is Fat Man Beyond for this week. I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Mark Bernard.
Tune in next time, same fat channel, smodguest.com, or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
for the good of all Krieg. Good night, everybody.